Hello, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au, and this is part 2 of my monthly observations in video format for April 2025. If you go through to my website, psychicandenergywork.com.au, to the monthly observations page, which you'll find under the Read tab, you'll be able to read a few thoughts about this April's birth numbers. So in numerology, there are 3 main numbers: the birth number, the MO, the reality number. The birth number tells us what we're here to learn about, understand, come to appreciate, and therefore step into in a way that we don't just know it, get it, but we also start to channel it and offer it out as a state of being, as an example, as a mentoring, or even just as a delivery, an output or an end result. Why do I say these things when I'm talking about the birth number? And interestingly, part 1 video is talking all about manifesting in this month's observations. This video, though, part 2, wants to look now at 4. 4 is the birth number, both specifically and generically, for April 2025. Interestingly, this year, 2025, has 2 main numbers, the MO and the reality number, in, in the form of 4. So 4s this month are also reinforcing this year's 4. It's not as if we have to make a big deal of that, but it can deliver an extra layer of magnification, of loudness, or even assistance on a really enjoyable level through what we experience over these next few weeks. So 4, as I write on my website, because of course the video observations that I'm running through now are not the same as what I've written there for this month, so get across both levels to really help yourself. 4 isn't just building. 4 isn't just understanding. No number is just one thing. It can play out in various forms. What I'd like to dovetail into, though, is the fact that, 4 can denote building. Now, within that, therefore, it starts to be a phase that reviews what we're running with, how we're building, how we're approaching things, or even the models or the frameworks that we engage to get on and do or get on and attract. Those very words can point to things like techniques and tools, mechanism, tactics, things like that, right? On any level. However, at another angle, 4 can be very much a discussion about quality. Therefore, it can be very much a learning curve, a further stepping into the quality that you are here to live, be, know, radiate with, emanate with, and deliver this life. It goes without saying, I'd argue, that many of us when we're younger, we can be more wrapped up in the responding, in the activity, in the busyness, and I mean all of those things as good states. But at certain points of our lives, we start to, of course, I don't know what the word is, mellow. Not necessarily because we become less busy, but perhaps we become more appreciative of what quality delivery really involves. 4 is very much a time that helps us tap into that understanding as it plays through for us individually, therefore quite possibly uniquely. The art of manifesting is to take your eyes off everybody else, and is to come back to your gut feel, to your intuition, to the sense of what you know you're here to be, how you're here to be that, and what you're here to come to, whether you've already received that on a visual level, a knowing level, a feeling level, or even a tasting and smelling level for some people, or all of the above. Quality isn't just a mental concept. It's not just emblem or a logo or a stamp of approval. It is a feeling. In fact, on one level, any level of intuiting or working with energy asks us to listen to our gut, to listen to the felt sense. How does it feel as you receive it? How does it feel as you experience it? Is it totally right? Does it totally fit? Is it totally all the definitional knowing that needs to come out of whatever state or whatever concept you're embracing? Within that therefore is the dare to really allow yourself the space to come to know what quality feels like for you. And when I say that, everything again can be confirmed by the felt level when we're talking about intuition. Feelings at the end of the day don't lie. The rest of the sensations can be misread. Not necessarily because they are, but they can be. It is only when we get that, shall we say, gut response that says, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I've got it. That's total. There is nothing more. It's peace and quiet now. It's at that point that we've really got the all. So therefore, as manifestors, as creators, we owe it to ourselves to, you could say, regularly tap into moments where we are allowing ourselves to connect again to quality as it needs to be for us specifically, uniquely. What do I mean by that? Often, the degree of rightness it unfolds a little bit like an onion, the layers of an onion. We will hit upon the concept and the bulk of us will go, you know what, yeah, that feels right. And yet still there will be a gap. Still there will be that's not everything yet. There's still a bit missing. And so when we're talking about coming into our understanding, our sense of self, our sense of what we're here to be, to play out, to exemplify, to offer, that act of giving ourselves the time to sit in the resonance of rightness, to allow it to speak fully and to allow it to really bed in and settle fully to the edges of our being, not just to the center or where our focus is most. That becomes the dare, because we can settle into a nice chair and go, oh, that's nice. And yet part of us can still not quite be in that experience in a way that we've truly settled. We're now fitting firmly and snugly into whatever the words are, the descriptions are, the knowing is, in a way that there is no disconnect, there is no separateness, there is no sense of isolation. For then is that moment that allows us, and therefore the moment that we give ourselves the opportunity to bump into, that is just so important as an energetic and a manifesting rule. We have to give ourselves the opportunity to dovetail into flow perfectly, correctly, wholly. And isn't that a sign of the power of scheduling, the power of discipline or commitment to, yes, your spiritual practice, but more importantly, receiving from the universe intuitively, energetically, so as to even confirm that you're at that spot yet, or whether you need to keep easing into it. Quality is a state that we can think we know, we can think we understand what it's like, I don't know, to ride in a Mercedes, yeah, and yet not until we've really done it, not until we've handled that car for a few moments and really enjoyed it, whether a few moments is a year or what, not until that moment do we really understand what quality is in completion. So what I'm trying to highlight again there is the fact that quality requires us to step into silence as a quality space first. It requires us to allow space as a quality, as a complete felt experienced. I am in nothing right now. I am floating in nothing. There is no push, pull. There is no silent voice that keeps pulling me out of the piece because there's something else to achieve or I haven't quite let go of it yet. So the very sense that we're still experiencing an urge to get on and do something or the next thing, that in itself is a flag that, you know what, you haven't silenced doubt yet. And if you haven't silenced doubt yet, you're not fully present, no matter how present you are. If you haven't silenced doubt yet, you're not even at the point where you have allowed the universe to drop in to inform you, to confirm for you where you're at, what you need to be doing next, or what. All of this is dovetailing very nicely into part 1 of the video observations for this month, April 2025. But again, really the differentiating factor is the 4. Quality. What does it mean to you? Yes, all right, I've just run through what it might mean as an actual meditating stance or as a piece of energy work. But also sit with that with a pen and paper. Write out what quality is for you, whether that is on every level or whether it's just focusing on a specific sphere of life or a particular goal or area, dynamic that you're needing to or wanting to work with right now. What is quality? Because manifesting can only really unfold once we truly know ourselves as a felt state, as a felt confirmed state. Manifesting can only roll forth once we have felt it as a knowing. In other words, we need to know, we need to vibrate with that knowing before we have really released out of the universe's way, before we have really released into flow as the all it can be and all that we're ready for in the present moment, assuming we've even allowed that to occur. So all the very best to you again for April. Feel free to move on to part 3 now of my video observations for this month, April 2025. Also, if you wish, go through to the website to read about part 3, which is the MO for April 2025, which speaks as to how we might dovetail into these sorts of awarenesses this month, how the universe might guide us there, and how we might optimize our engagement with this knowledge and awareness and furtherance over these next few weeks. Travel well. Thanks for tuning in. Please let me know how this comes across. Your feedback really helps. Take good care.